came here tonight to play chess. A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, before you move.
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
I'd like to try your Wu-Tang style. Let's begin then.
Good evenings, or good morning, or good day, or whenever you log in. Good day, scholars. Back for another lesson. Today we're going to be talking about openings. And once I get finished with Chess Magnet School, I'm going to jump over to chess.com and actually show you a video that is helping me to become better myself. So I'm pretty sure it will help you also. I'm presently in the mode of trying to restructure and just rebuild my game from scratch with the hopes of just becoming a better player overall. And I did see some things in that beginning video that I saw that I was doing wrong all this time. Not necessarily wrong, but there were better moves that I should have been making in some of these opening lines. And I'm going to share them with you later on when we watch that video. All right, so today is opening basics. And again, we're going to look at more specific openings once we jump over to chess.com. But for the general openings, you just want to know that you need to be controlling the center, these 4 central squares, developing your pieces. That would be the bishops and the knights, getting them all into the game, castling, okay, whether it be short side or long side, and aiming the rooks. So those are the 4 basic opening rules that we try to do. Even though there's a million openings, and all of them have names, and a lot of them, but we don't really need to worry about memorizing openings. Although I did give you several, and it wasn't for the purpose of you actually memorizing those openings, but I wanted to get you used to opening in the center, controlling the center. You know, so many of us were opening on the sides, or opening with the A pawn or the H pawn, trying to maneuver the rook from the H file over to the center, and that matter where all of that stuff is no good. We need to be controlling the center. So I picked certain openings purposely for you to see different openings, and hopefully to get you in a habit of just opening to the center, even if that was the only opening that you use. All right, but anyway, later on we're gonna look at some E4 openings. I believe we might look at a couple of D4 openings, and some of the openings I gave you a Gioco Piano, the Italian game. I gave you a Rua Lopez. I believe I gave you a Sicilian Dragon. I gave you 2 others, I forgot now, but all of those were central openings that, again, I was just wanting you to get into the habit of opening towards the center. All right, so in this position, they want us to select all of the opening rules white has followed. So remember, we need to develop our pieces. So it looks like our pieces have been developed. Of course, we try to develop those pieces towards the center. Our 2 central pawns have been pushed out. We are definitely controlling the center. We have our pieces developed. Knights and bishops are all out. We have not castled, so we can't click this one. And we haven't aimed the rook. So definitely have these two. All right, so let's look at black's pieces. Let's see what all they've done as far as opening goes. So, controlling the center, yep. They have a bunch of central pieces. Developed the pieces that they'll have. Knights and bishops are out, so the pieces have been developed. Controlling the center, those central pawns, knights, bishops, all of these pieces are attacking the center. Knights, no castling, and rooks haven't been aimed. All right. So now let's look. We have central control. We have developed pieces. We have castled king side, and we've aimed these rooks. Looks like we've done everything for white here. Okay, let's look at black now. What have they done? They have attacked the center. Pieces have been developed. Bishops and knights are all in the game. Looks like we've castled and our rooks are aimed. We've done all of these. Select all of the opening rules white has followed. Okay. So you see that there's no central attack at all by white. Kind of messed around here on the side files. We haven't controlled the center. Our pieces still need to be developed. This knight and this bishop still sitting on the bench waiting to play. Got to put them in the game, coach. Got to put them in the game. Knights, bishops should be out in the game. So pieces haven't been developed. Looks like we have castle. Okay. And the rooks have not been aimed. Okay. All right, so what has black done now? So black, no central development, no central. Oh, wait a minute, this bishop is going towards the center. I wonder if they'll accept that. We have attacked the center indirectly, although we could use some central pawns. White has the center on lock, but I wonder about that. I wonder if I can press just due to this bishop. I'm going to leave it alone for now, though. But this bishop is attacking the center indirectly. All right, the pieces still need to be developed. We still got this knight and bishop on the bench. It's like last puzzle. Castle, looks like we have castle, and the rooks have not been aimed. Control the center. Let's see about that one. Let's just go ahead and press. Okay, so this bishop wasn't enough. So controlling the center, they want some central action. All right. Opening rule number 1 is control the center. You can see what we've done here. Push those 2 central pawns out, controlling the center. Okay, look at what's happened here. What's that second rule? Yep. We have developed the pieces. Next rule. What happened? We have castle. And the next rule, those rooks. So we'll control the center, develop pieces with castle. Now we're aiming the rooks. I will say this aiming a rook part, I haven't really seen this much, but I don't think anything is wrong with the practice of a general opening. I know a lot of times I'm able to push this rook over the E1 here to jump on this file. I usually end up with one of these files needing some type of space or something on it to control it. So rooks being in these two next to each other is not a bad thing to do at all. All right. So let's go ahead and jump over to chess.com now. I want to show you all this video. Now, this video gives us specific replies to various openings. And these are going to be some common opening moves. One of the most common being e4. So pawn to e4. Very common opening, e4, and also d4. So we're going to look at some of those. One being, well, actually a couple being the two that I already gave you in class, which was the Italian game and the Spanish game, or Gioco Piano and the Rui Lopez. All right, let's take a look.
The opening phase is all about controlling the center and developing your pieces with a plan. Every move you make should be doing one of those two things. The middle game will then arise out of the opening. Many beginning chess players are fascinated with the opening because of the many exciting traps, gambits, and names. But in reality, you're better off not spending time memorizing openings, but instead understanding opening principles and then practicing your middle game and end game. That said, openings are fun, and it's great to learn a few because they teach you how to understand how to think about the first moves of your game. Let's take a look at some of White's most popular openings after e4. After e4, Black's most solid and straightforward response is e5. And after the typical knight f3 and knight c6, we're going to study three of White's most popular opening choices. The first opening begins with the move bishop to c4. This is known as the Italian game, or Gioco Piano, the quiet game. It is one of the most classical openings in chess. White develops the bishop to an open diagonal, placing pressure on Black's weak square on f7. White is ready to castle and bring the other pieces toward the center. Black often responds with bishop to c5, using the same ideas as White. This opening isn't as fast-paced as other openings that we'll study, but it is a solid way to develop your pieces to good squares and prepare for the middle game. After bishop to b5, this opening is known as the Rui Lopez. It is considered more aggressive than the Italian game because White continues the attack on the e5 pawn by putting pressure on its defender, the knight on c6. Black's most popular option is the strange-looking a6, provoking White to capture the knight. Isn't that exactly what White wants to do? It turns out that White cannot win the pawn on e5 right away, so Black attacks White's bishop. If White tries to win the pawn with bishop takes c6, Black recaptures with the d-pawn, clearing open the diagonal for the light-squared bishop and also opening the d-file for Black's queen. After knight takes e5, Black has the powerful move queen to d4. Black moves the queen to d4, creating a double attack on the knight on e5 and pawn on e4. After White brings the knight to safety with knight f3, Black plays queen takes e4 check. Black now regains the pawn with a good game. Since taking Black's knight does not win a pawn, White usually plays bishop a4, keeping the pressure on the knight on c6, and if Black attacks the bishop again with b5, White plays bishop to b3, entering the active a2 to g8 diagonal, focusing on the weak f7 square. The last of the three common White openings begins after d4. White advances a second pawn into the center, placing pressure on Black's e5 pawn and opening up lines for the queen and dark-squared bishop. This opening is known as the Scotch opening. It is an aggressive opening that puts pressure on Black's center right from the beginning of the game. Black should capture the pawn immediately with e takes d4, but sometimes Black plays d6. This move allows White to open up the d-file with d takes e5. If Black captures with the knight first with knight takes e5, White opens up the d-file after knight takes e5, d takes e5, and now that the d-file is open, White can trade queens with queen takes d8 check. After king takes d8, Black's king loses the right to castle and is stuck in the middle of the board. After d takes e5, the d file has once again opened and white trades queens with queen takes d8 check. Black has a tough choice to make. Black can either capture the queen with knight takes d8, giving up protection of the pawn on e5 and losing it after knight takes e5, or black can play king takes d8, losing the right to castle. Black's king is stuck in the middle of the board and will become a target of attack on the open d file. This is why black should play e takes d4. And after white plays knight takes d4, both sides have a file that has been opened, the d file for white and the e file for black. This means the game may open up quickly, where both sides will have attacking chances. After bishop to c5, black develops a piece and adds a second attacker on white's knight on d4. White plays bishop to e3, developing the bishop toward the center and adding a second defender to the d4 knight. Both sides will focus on completing development, castling, and will prepare for a sharp middle game fight. Now that you've learned some of white's most popular openings after e4, let's test your knowledge in the challenges.
All right, so yeah, I wanted to share that with you. If you are a chess.com member, which most of you are, especially those of you who played the tournament with me, you are chess.com members. Now, I know there are tiers with chess.com, so as far as, membership tiers is what I mean. So some of these lessons may or may not be there depending on your level of membership. But if you do have access to these lessons, they are very good. So if I were to start the challenges, it will basically quiz me on basically what the video just said. But I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now. They have, we didn't even look at the D4 openings, but it's more the same, and it's all very good. So again, if you do have chess.com, you can add that to your chess magnet school and your LI chess and all the other sites that you have to help improve your game. For those serious players out there. All right, so that'll do it. And I will see you all on the next video. All right, peace.
We saw them practicing with each other. Their kung fu is first class.